Nigeria is facing a dangerous escalation in insecurity. In the last couple of weeks, gunmen have attacked and kidnapped hundreds of people, including school children and worshippers in northern Nigeria. Though some victims have been released, others remain in captivity. In the story, Just Nigeria's Wale Fakile examines what's fueling this surge in violence, who's been targeted and why. Wale also finds out how Nigeria's fragile security architecture is being tested in real time and the quality of government's response.
Is my only son, is my firstborn. Please help us.
Nigeria is living through another security shock. Schools, churches, classrooms emptied, and families scattered at alarming scale and speed.
They were being trafficked on foot, the way shepherds control their heads.
The questions are piling up.
There have been hues and cries, especially from the intelligence community over the years. I'm talking about 20, 30 years ago.
What began as targeted kidnappings in remote areas has widened into brazen raids in villages and towns. Recent mass abductions in northern Nigeria's Niger, Kebbi and Kwara States have exposed deep security gaps. In Papiri, north-central Niger State, the scene is still raw. Parents wait anxiously for news on their children plucked from this boarding school. School officials say the attack swept through the Catholic school in the dead of the night. 50 students have reportedly escaped so far, but more than 200 remain missing, with parents on the edge.
They were being trafficked on foot, the way shepherds control their heads. The gunmen were on bikes while controlling the girls.
Is my only son, is my firstborn. Please help us.
The numbers have raised conflicting headlines. The church and some parents say more than 300 pupils and staff were taken. State Governor Mohammed Bagu disputes the figures.
The school said to me in writing, missing, not abducted. Number of missing students. So they are not certain whether these entire students are with the bandits, nor or are they in the bush, or because of the scare, some of them have gone back to their homes, and we are yet to get a report from that.
When those that escaped, when we couldn't find them, we concluded that they are also taken. But after the following day, that was a Friday morning now, until Saturday, we started having calls of those that reunited with their families.
I'm giving them assurance by God's grace we will get those children and we will rescue them and we will bring them back to their family.
In northwestern Kebbi State, there is a more hopeful note. 24 schoolgirls abducted in Maga last week from this school have been freed and are now back home. Some of the girls and the parents tell Just Nigeria it was a harrowing ordeal.
They woke me up with a gun pointed at my head. I got scared and ran into the store. We thought the person with a torchlight behind us was someone coming to help.
They forced us to walk a long distance, calling us cows. All our feet were wounded.
I'm happy. I'm back home meeting my friends, family, and seeing everyone happy. I want to continue with my education.
The presidency says the girls were rescued after a non-kinetic approach. What does this mean?
Non-kinetic comes only after the target has been sucked in by way of apparent defeat for them. But you give them the chance to believe that they are stronger, they are capable of taking territory and keeping it, they are capable of attacking at will, then non-kinetic becomes problematic.
In north-central Kwara State, worship became a target. Armed men raided this Christ Apostolic Church on November 18th, abducting 38 worshippers. The attack was captured and the church's live stream horrifying millions of Nigerians. All the abductees have now been freed.
I am happy that my child is back. If the kidnappers had asked for ransom, I would not have been able to pay.
Some families were not that lucky. At least 2 worshippers were killed during the assault, leaving behind traumatized loved ones.
When they got here, they instantly shot our security personnel because he was also armed. The guard ran into the church, telling us to hide. They trailed him inside and made sure he was killed.
It was a terrifying Sunday morning in Ejiba, Kogi State, north-central Nigeria. Gunmen stormed this church mid-service, abducting the pastor and several worshippers. At the time of filing this story, the army says 6 kidnapped victims were rescued in Ejiba and Saminaka forests. It's unclear if they are part of the worshippers abducted on Sunday.
We are providing security around Yagba West local government area, being a hotspot. But it is also not advisable security-wise to be having this kind of services in the bush.
Security experts say the recent attacks in Niger, Kebbi and Kwara State follow the same movement pattern. A network of armed groups moving through shared forest corridors and porous border points that link the 3 states. At the center is Kanji National Park, identified by a member of the House of Representatives as a major hideout for bandits.
There have been heavy bombardments in the forest, especially this Kanji National Reserve around the Kebbi, and also some of those areas are infected with bandits. And this led to destruction of assets, destruction of logistic supply to the bandits, and many of them were forced to abandon the comforts of the forest where they've been residing for long to move towards the fringes.
At the national level, the government points to jihadi splinter groups. The presidency says ISWAP and Boko Haram cells are exploiting these borders and ungoverned forests to mount strikes.
Over 4,870 stretch of borderline where you have massive ungoverned spaces. And because these ungoverned spaces exist, where there's no authority, there's no security, that is where the ISWAP, the Boko Haram, these elements move into. So, very clearly, you know that they are the ones involved in this process.
And if you look at the emergence of Boko Haram itself, it was when they became politicized, that were used for election. That was when everything went south. And the same thing with these bandits. When politicians began to patronize them, using them for electoral purposes, cutting them, then they became empowered, they became bold, they started coming into the communities, which they didn't do before.
The ones that are more prominent, that are killing more people, the first group, the terrorist ones, and then the second, criminal groups, otherwise called bandits.
Experts say kidnapping for ransom has become a full-blown economy with a warped life of its own. Analysts add that this pattern persists because many communities lack consistent security and negotiation pathways remain open. They add that local tips are not turning into timely action. The result is a surge of quick, low-cost attacks that inflict maximum terror.
They needed to be able to get some of the things they lost. So the need for them to launch attack around the fringes so they can get money became very important to them.
I know there is a conspiracy theory saying that it is the United States of America that is actually sponsoring or behind the attacks, but I personally don't think that's true.
Before this new wave of kidnappings, US President Donald Trump had alleged a genocide against Nigerian Christians and warned of potential US military action. This claim raised diplomatic alarms and was forcefully rejected by Nigerian officials.
When Nigeria becomes a country of particular concern to the United States, it escalates. And Nigeria becomes suspect in the security apparatus of Nigeria. The global security index of Nigeria will continue to go down. So it has a lot of implications.
International reporting and analysts warn that language risks oversimplifying complex local dynamics while raising pressure on Abuja to show results.
On the one hand, you have some Christians who believe, yes, there is Christian genocide. Then you have Muslims who say there is no Christian genocide. So that's giving space for criminal groups to actually take advantage of this polarization.
The West is losing grounds in Nigeria and in the whole of West Africa. I think that's one of the major reasons why Donald Trump is trying to attack Nigeria, saying that Christians are being killed, there's genocide in Nigeria. There's no evidence to support this.
In response, Nigeria dispatched a high-level delegation to the United States. President Bola Tinubu has also announced a Nigeria-US joint working group on counter-terrorism, led by National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu. The move is meant to fast-track assistance, training, and cross-border tracking of networks. The question of who to hold to account now hangs over state houses and the presidential villa. Some governors insist on rigorous checks before accepting casualty lists. Some community leaders accuse state governments of shirking responsibility. Families accuse governments of neglect.
The response to these attacks it might be a little bit more robust, where we don't have these people cut away. Hundreds of children, take 200, 300, 20-something. I mean, it's strange, unless they have tunnels where they hide them.
The presidency has moved to demonstrate action, recruiting more officers, reassigning police personnel from VIP duties to frontline defense, and signing bilateral security mechanisms. But these are structural shifts that take time.
The same strategy it was pursuing before now is the strategy it's still implementing. And so if you continue doing the same thing, hoping for change, you're not likely to get any change.
Every state has a state security committee, and if you decentralize them to the local government, the SA security should have a kind of liaison or coordination with the local government, and that will make the local government security committees work.
I also think the president needs to declare a war on terrorism as well as a war on banditry.
Children shepherded into the night, girls forced to march, and worshippers snatched from pews. This wave of kidnappings is not only a security crisis, it's a test of institutional will. Experts insist that if Nigeria wants to stop the next raid, the country must without delay transit outreach into systems that protect all its citizens, especially the most vulnerable. Wale Fakile, Just Nigeria.